All right, everyone, as the Democrats decide to go off a cliff like lemmings on impeachment, there is one Democratic candidate who is speaking out, and it's surprising to me that he's the one that has the foresight to understand this. Andrew Yang yesterday came out and said, impeachment's going to be a loser. No, this isn't going to work. it's going to backfire. It's probably going to cause Trump to be reelected. Now, of course, he's saying this as a primary candidate who's in a fairly close sixth place just behind Bloomberg. He's not technically far outside of the realm of viability, and he's blackpilling the whole Dem field saying, look, we just screwed the pooch here. We're going to lose 2020 probably because of this. He's right. And it shows some degree of foresight, so I'll give him credit for that. This comes less than 24 hours after opening up a new campaign office by spraying whipped cream into dudes' mouths in a very, very dubious display that can only be said to be something you'd be more akin to a booty judge campaign. It's messed up, but here you've got this dude. He's a UBI socialist commie light. He's got no economic chops whatsoever. He's literally a chucklehead who's probably doing this to sell books more than anything else. He's probably cleaning up. This dude's going to get so rich off this campaign, even without embezzling his campaign funds, which is harder these days than it used to be. Just by selling books and t-shirts and shit like that, you can make a lot of money just by running for office these days if you're savvy. Yang is correct. He's completely right. Impeachment is not going to work for the Democrats. It is a partisan floor show that if you already hate Trump and there's no possibility you'd ever vote for him, of course you support impeachment. And of course, it's like 45% of the country. Dem partisans, leftist hardliners, and never Trumpers. People who have Trump derangement syndrome sometimes, or they're just politically partisan or whatever. This is the same as asking some Tea Partier if they'd ever consider voting for Obama in 2012. Of course not. It doesn't matter what Obama says. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what the other party does. At most, the worst case scenario for the Dems in this case is that they have a shitty campaign, a shitty nominee, and people stay home instead of voting at high enough levels, and that causes an electoral landslide for Trump 2020. But people aren't going to jump ship and vote for Trump. That being said, though, on the impeachment issue, the people you have to wine and dine are the independent voters. Independents, insofar as they're paying attention to the impeachment proceedings at all, are against it. They lean against impeachment. Impeachment is less popular now than it was at its peak. Right Wing Watch the other day tried to claim that support for impeachment is rising. No, it's not. You have to cherry pick poll firms in order to get that result, dude. I'm looking at the RCP aggregate. I will outperform you 99.9% of the time. I am telling you, no. Impeachment peaked at about 52% in popularity. It's at about 48 right now. The opposition to it was in the low 40s. Now it's almost as high as the number of people that support it. By the way, opposition to impeachment higher than Trump's approval. That's terrible for the Democrats. There are some millions of voters who fundamentally don't like Trump but don't want him impeached. They just kind of don't like him. If those people start supporting Trump because they see the alternative is worse, the Democrats lose in 2020. Yang, as someone who's apparently obsessed with numbers without understanding economics, obviously understands this to some degree. So good on him, and good on his fans for supporting him and understanding that the black-pilled reality for Democrats may fundamentally be here, which is, it's not going to go your way, dude. You're not going to be able to remove Trump from office. What's going to happen now? Right now, impeachment articles will be drawn up. The House will continue to banter about it for a while. They drop in articles, they have a vote. They may not even properly impeach him. They may not have the votes to, because there's already at least one or two Democrats that have wavered on this in the House. You don't need that many to defect before you can't even pass a simple impeachment vote. If that happens, the Democrats lose same day. That'll be a guarantee. I'll call the election on that day. If they manage to impeach, in what'll amount to just a partisan floor show, it'll be a straight D versus R vote. It's meaningless. Nobody fucking gives a shit. By the way, those down-ballot Democrats that voted for it in red districts and Trump districts will lose their re-election bids probably, and the House will go back to the Republicans. So the Democrats fall on their swords, lose the House, probably lose several Senate seats, despite the fact that the Senate matchup map actually favors them in this election, unlike the last one, which is hilarious. They probably lose more, and then they have Trump reelected. Pelosi gets knocked off her pedestal, and the Republicans take back the speakership of the House. Yang is correct. But then again, it's like a broken clock sort of deal, and people were pointing this out. I wasn't saying that Yang is a sane man. No, if you look at his UBI proposal, it's voodoo economics. But that doesn't mean he's not right on this particular issue. And he's the only one, to his credit, he's the only one in the Dem field honest enough to admit it. These others keep pretending like impeachment is going to go their way and they're actually going to get Trump out of office. But what it looks like is weakness. It looks like, hey, you expect to lose 2020, so you're trying to remove the dude ahead of time so you have to run against Pence or something. It looks like they're just desperate. That's the optics of it, and they are. It is quite clear to me, as a political analyst, looking at the Dem field, that most of these people can't hold a candle to Trump. Those that can are not being taken seriously. Buttigieg is not being taken seriously. I think he could be a viable representative for the Democratic Party after the primaries in a general election. I think he could do an okay job. They don't take him seriously. He's never been above fourth place. He's probably stalled out by Bloomberg right now. They won't take him seriously. Biden, he's an incoherent mess. Elizabeth Warren is crazy. Bernie Sanders has had a heart attack. He's almost 80 years old and he calls himself a socialist. These people are insane. Your strategy sucks. I don't know. That energy from 2016 is starting to come back, I think, among Trump fans. Attempts right now to demoralize over impeachment have been rebuffed soundly. I get a cross-section of this because I use 4chan and Twitter. And so if you go to the political side of 4chan, it tends to lean right, or in various ways. Nationalistic, Republican, Libertarian, in various directions. It's not exactly a homogenized sort of situation. And then in Twitter, it tends to lean to the left. If you go to left-wing Twitter and you see what's going on, and you go to 4chan and see what's being said by people who spam Pepe still years later, you can get a fairly good reading of politics among the more partisan bases and sort of take a general measurement of the energy level. I don't see a lot of energized leftists. A lot of these people, it's like, even like Dworkin and stuff, if you read what they're posting right now, it's not gung-ho for impeachment, haha, Orange Man will finally be removed from office. No, it's just he's bad. It's the same shit they've been saying anyway. There's no real change in it. But if you look at Trump fans, they're like, you know that scene from Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, when the old dude accidentally launches the arrow and kills that one orc and the rest of them start pounding their chests and roaring with displeasure? It looks a lot like that. That's honestly what, I'm not comparing, Republicans or Trump fans to orcs, but the mood is similar. You know what I'm saying. Kind of a half-failed metaphor there. Should be using that maybe for the more self-righteous breakdowns of the social justice warriors as far as the aesthetics go, but you understand what I mean. No, impeachment's not going to work. You can impeach Trump. I mean, impeachment doesn't even matter, though. It's not the same as removal from office. The Senate has to convict. The Senate's run by Republicans. Mitch McConnell has said it's DOA once it's sent his way. He's going to drag it out, and he's going to make a mockery of the Democrats, and he's going to grill these witnesses, and they're going to do everything procedurally that they can to rain on the Dems' parade, and then they're going to have a vote, and Trump will be exonerated. He'll be acquitted. And then he'll run against you in 2020, and he'll probably win. That's about all. Peace out.